Who should I turn to when loved ones have addiction? Addiction is a problem that affects millions of people all over the world. When it comes to addiction, there can be a lot of confusion and misinformation. This is especially true when it comes to loved ones with substance use disorder. Many people don't know where to turn for help or what to do. In this article, we will discuss some of the best resources for loved ones who have an addiction. How do you deal with addiction in your family, and where do you turn for help? There's no one answer to this question, as it depends on each individual situation. However, there are some general tips that can help you deal with addiction in your family members. First and foremost, it's important to remember that addiction is a disease. This means that the person is not choosing to suffer from substance use disorder. Addiction is a powerful force that takes over someone's life, and it's not something that can be snapped out of. With that in mind, it's important to approach the situation with compassion and understanding. It can be difficult to know where to turn when your loved ones are struggling with addiction. You may feel helpless and alone, but there are people and resources out there who can help. Here are a few places to start. Your local community center, church or local treatment facilities. These organizations often have programs or groups specifically for families dealing with addiction. Your doctor or healthcare provider. Your doctor can provide you with information on addiction treatment options and refer you to resources in your area. Addiction counselors or therapists. These professionals can provide you with support and guidance on how to best help your loved ones. Online support groups. There are many online forums and support groups available for people in your situation. This can be a great way to connect with others who understand what you're going through. The National Helpline. This helpline provides 24/hour free and confidential support for people struggling with addiction. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAHS, is a government agency that provides information and resources on substance abuse and mental health. The National Institute on Drug Abuse, NIDA, is a research institute that provides information on drug abuse and addiction. The American Society of Addiction Medicine, ASAM, is a professional society of doctors specializing in addiction medicine. The National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, NCAD is an organization that provides resources and support for people struggling with addiction. There are many organizations and resources available to help you if you have a loved one struggling with addiction. Don't hesitate to reach out for help. With the right support, your loved ones can get the treatment program they need and begin on the road to recovery. What to do if you think someone you love has an addiction? If you think someone you love has an addiction, the first step is to talk to them about it. Express your concerns and explain why you think they may be struggling with addiction. If they are open to talking, try to get as much information as possible about their substance use disorders. This can help you better understand their situation and how to best support them. If the person you're worried about is unwilling to talk about their addiction, there are still things you can do. Research addiction and treatment options so you can be prepared to help if they ever decide to seek help. You can also reach out to support groups or therapy services for guidance on how to best support someone with an addiction. Remember, addiction is a disease, and you can't force someone to seek treatment. However, by being there for them and offering your support, you can make a difference in their life. How to help a loved one with an addiction. If you have a loved one who is struggling with addiction, you may be wondering what you can do to help. Here are a few things that may be helpful. Educate yourself about addiction and its causes. This will help you better understand what your loved one is going through and how you can best support them. Reach out to a professional for help. A therapist or counselor who specializes in addiction can provide you with guidance on how to best support your loved one. Encourage your loved one to seek treatment. Treatment can be incredibly effective in helping people recover from addiction. Make sure to take care of yourself, too. It can be difficult to watch a loved one struggle with addiction. Make sure to take time for yourself and do things that make you happy. This will help you better support your loved one in the long run. What causes addiction and how can it be treated? There is no single answer to this question, as addiction can be caused by a variety of factors. However, some common causes of addiction include a genetic predisposition to addiction, exposure to drugs or alcohol abuse at an early age, traumatic experiences, mental illness or mental health disorders. Addiction can be treated through a variety of methods, depending on the individual. Some common methods of substance abuse treatment include behavioral therapy and family therapy, medication support groups, rehabilitation programs. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, there is help available. You can contact a local mental health professional or addiction specialist to get started on the road to recovery. How to cope with a loved one's addiction. It's never easy to see a loved one suffer from addiction. Whether it's alcohol, drugs, gambling, or anything else, addiction can take a toll on both the addict and their loved ones. If you're struggling to cope with a loved one's addiction, here are some tips that may help. First and foremost, it's important to remember that you can't force someone to change. If your loved one is unwilling to seek help, there's not much you can do. However, you can offer support and understanding. Let them know that you're there for them, and be patient as they try to overcome their addiction. It's also important to take care of yourself. Addiction can be stressful and emotionally draining, so make sure to take time for yourself. Get support from other loved ones, see a therapist, or join a support group. Taking care of yourself will help you be there for your loved ones when they need you the most. Finally, don't give up hope. Recovery is possible, and even if your loved one relapses, they can always get back on track. Just remember that you're not alone in this, and there are people who can help with the recovery process. With patience, love, and support, you can help your loved one through their alcohol and drug addiction.